Hi, my name is Malvika Sharan, and I will be talking about the Turing Way, creating visible roles and recognitions for maintainers in our community. The Turing Way is an open science project that involves and supports its diverse community in making research reproducible, ethical, open, and inclusive for everyone. To make our work truly beneficial and comprehensible for as many users as possible, we collaborate with people with diverse skills, backgrounds, lived experiences, and domain knowledge. It is a part of the Alan Turing Institute, which is the National Institute for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence in the UK. One of the Turing's research program is called Tools, Practices, and Systems, and we are committed to delivering trustworthy systems, transparent reporting, inclusive interoperable design, ethical integrity, respectful co-creation, and leadership in open research. The Turing Way sits across most of these goals and provides a central resource for good practices to all our researchers within the UK and internationally. It was started as a book on reproducibility by Kirsty Whitaker, who is the project lead for the Turing Way, as well as director of the Tools, Practices, and System Research Program under which the Turing Way sits. I had started as a community manager in 2020, and now I co-lead this project with her. Shared as a lightly opinionated guide, the Turing Way Handbook provides reproducible tools and practices to help ensure that researchers, funders, policymakers, and all different stakeholders in research know what their responsibility of reproducibility is, where they can make an impact, and how they can make their work more efficient and understandable. Reproducibility is when the same analysis is applied to the same data, it should give the same result. There are other concepts around reproducibility like replicability, robustness, and generalizability. However, computational reproducibility should be maintained as a minimum criteria to ensure quality and integrity of our research. Reproducibility starts right when you have a research idea. You want to communicate that with others, plan and design your work, then you will describe your protocol, collect data sets, start processing and wrangling your data, conduct your study and analysis, publish your data and other research components so others can access it, and then comes archiving that can ensure that your research is reusable, meaningful, and hence someone else can go through this whole process of reproducing or building upon your work. With this definition, the project started with contributors who documented best practices, guidance, and recommendations in chapters describing various concepts and tools that can ensure reproducibility aspect of data research. These chapters include topics such as open research, version control, licensing, data management, code testing, reviewing, and so on. However, these practices were not enough, as researchers also require to understand different ways we communicate our work with others, the way we design our project, and the efficient ways we can collaborate with others. All these while ensuring highest ethical standards and research integrity in our research. In order to accommodate all these requirements in research and data science, the project expanded to include 4 more guides in addition to the guide for reproducible research. We provide project guides for project design, communication, collaboration, and ethical research. To ensure that a project like the Turing Way can be reproduced across different communities, we also maintain the community handbook that compiles all processes and community practices that could be reused by others. We have seen our project and community grow in the last 3 years. We currently host over 200 subchapters across 5 guides. In order to ensure that our community members are able to participate, irrespective of their previous experiences of working in open source or data science, we provide resources, events, guidance, templates, and training to get them involved in the project. We have over 320 direct contributors on GitHub where we host our project and thousands of users. In this talk, I will be using a lot of illustration, and those illustrations alone has been downloaded 10,000 times or more. We also maintain our social media presence so we can reach out to people and bring them into the project and represent diverse ideas and perspective. For a community that started at a grassroots level, we are very grateful to have these members working with us. The Turing Way has grown within a short amount of time because it has been designed to be open. Open means that everyone can freely read, reuse, distribute, modify, and help develop the project. An open project uses open framework for collaboration, peer production, and project sustainability as users collaborate to build resources that are beneficial for them. With that principle, the Turing Way belongs to the community and is a work of collaboration. Community building is something that we emphasize a lot in our work, which is the process of granting access to skills and support that an individual or group needs to participate in a community such as the Turing Way and influence decision-making. The key is to allow people's involvement in the decision-making. This means that diverse contributors are given opportunities to come into the project, share different perspectives, and help develop something that they can relate with and that they can use. This is where we can start to identify maintainers. We can think about our community in 3 layers. First is core, which is a team of members who are highly invested. Second is external. These are experts who are actively engaging due to shared interests. And then comes the peripherals. These are users who have a lot to share but don't know where to start. Most of our maintainers actually sit in core and external layer. However, these members are people who would like to become maintainers. We can think about maintainers through how different work within open source happens. The central to all our work is a product, which could be a software, other resource, for example, in the Turing Way, a book. Then comes quality assurance, which is a group of tasks that ensure scientific integrity, such as reproducibility, accessibility, and ethical standard that makes our work more reliable and useful for others. Next set of tasks is collaborative work, which is very much required for the development and sustainability of the community, where most time and resources are also invested. This level includes development, testing, documenting, sharing, archiving, promoting our project, and so on. And this is where we can start to see our external experts' involvement. The fourth level is where crucial maintenance work happens. Here, our maintainers are people who might not have been originally involved in the project, but they take on roles to support infrastructure, project, and people who want to participate. They ensure one-on-one support, delegation of tasks, training, mentoring, review, feedback, and project promotion. Finally, the most important part of maintenance work is community care. The maintenance roles continue on for another level, which is important for setting tone for community culture we want to inspire. This group of tasks include many hidden tasks, such as ensuring inclusive process, transparent communication, support for people, diverse representation of idea, pathways for onboarding, offboarding, embedding accessibility, and so on. In the context of the Turing Way, our measurable outcome is a book. We can always see who is talking about the book, who is using the book, but it's very hard to see who is maintaining the book. Our quality assurance work is based on open communication of our shared value and vision for the project. All our guide and overall project is where the quality assurance can be seen. These work are also often driven by core members. Our sustainability is based on the open source infrastructure development process and platform supported by a major group of maintainers. They support the chapter development, review, maintenance process, and provide mentoring and support to new member as a support system. The support system and community care are quite interrelated here. And that's where visible recognition for our community member is very important, which is what I will discuss next. In the Turing Way, we have identified core members as leadership and core contributors who are working in some paid capacity. Our external members are volunteers and community leaders who are also invited to join the leadership team. And finally, the peripheral members. However, they are peripheral. We are building different pathways for them to take on rewards, recognition, and visible roles for their work in a way that is meaningful for them and allows them to showcase their skills. The Turing Way is committed to providing fair acknowledgement. The project is managed online, openly on GitHub repository, which makes it easy for us to facilitate collaborations. We provide clear guidance for participation, contribution, project management. The Turing Way book is also developed here. Most of our conversation happen online via GitHub pull requests and issues. And these are places also where we invite people to join the discussion, even though they are not maintaining that already. So going back to the core members, beside Kirsty Whittaker and me, we have a community manager called Anne-Lee Steele, but there's also a group of community managers who are working within tools, practices, and systems, and they have been invited into the project in some paid capacity. We recognize all contributors. We know that if we don't value them equally, we will end up disproportionately ignoring the hidden labor that a lot of people do, especially those who are already marginalized group or excluded from open source and tech spaces. Therefore, it's not just about the core members who are working in paid capacity, but also people who are coming in volunteer capacity. We use the all contributors bot to recognize all contributions, which is installed on our GitHub and can be called directly on issues and pull requests, even for those people who do not push code. We also avoid individual authorship in favor of establishing shared ownership and agency in the book. No matter how small or big people's contributions are, they are all included as shared authors of the book. The project belongs to the community, and as I said, it's always a work in progress. Since the Turing Way is an online open source project, this is very important for us to create opportunities for building connections. We host our long co-working call every week, 2-hour collaboration cafe bi-weekly, and a week-long book dash twice a year. These events are dedicated spaces for collaboration, synchronous conversation, and mentored contribution by new members. At the end of each book dash, we also release a new version of the book. These are also places where we collaborate with different communities who are vision aligned. Some of the members of these communities are participating in in-kind contribution manner. So for example, Carlos Martinez, he's a community manager from Netherlands eScience Center. Esther Plump is data steward from Faculty of Applied Sciences, TU Delft, and Sarah Gibson, an open source infrastructure engineer from 2I2C, who are working within the Turing Way in the leadership capacity. And we have Callum Mould, who's a research software engineer at the Alan Turing Institute, who's helping us keep our involvement with the Binder Federation, where we host a Turing-hosted server for Binder. So these members are listed as the leaders in the project. One of the difficult part of my work is to actually acknowledge that open by default does not mean inclusive or accessible or community-led if the intention is not involved. Maintainers often work in volunteer capacity. Since not everyone is privileged to work beyond their day job, it is important to acknowledge that most members often can't invest their time in open research as maintainers. Hence, it is crucial for the leadership and core members to proactively promote inclusive approaches to support existing members and actively welcome diverse new members. We do not want to exclude people unintentionally by not providing the support that they need to become part of the community. If we want these aspects to become intentional part of the process, we need to design that into the project. Therefore, in the Turing Way, we count every little contribution. We foster a culture of collaboration by ensuring that the collaboration is not just defined by common goal, but we are also thinking about how we treat each other, how we build diverse team, if we have a code of conduct that is enforced, and how do we actually open our work constantly for contribution. These are facilitated through different pathways for collaboration. People can come in to develop and share their work, maintain and improve the project, share resources with others, make it global, and share different sort of best practices that applies to their communities. Our contributors come from around the world, and they bring skills, challenges, and resources that is required in their communities. Some of our members are actually translating the project into different languages such as Arabic, Chinese, Portuguese, and Spanish. And these members are Camila, Batul, Alejandro, and Andrea. We also had them in a panel discussion on gaps and opportunity for inclusive multilingual data science. And Batul is actually leading an outreach project to allow Arabic translation. Finally, we have a document where people can describe how they have contributed to the project in a way that is really meaningful for them. They can build a new skill, they can showcase their own talent and build a profile in a way that helps them enhance their CV and enhance their personal understanding of data science. Again, we are very committed to creating equitable opportunity for community leadership without trying to fit the Turing Way into a traditional credit system. In that effort, we are also building open governance model. This is a project that I am leading with Anne-Lee Steele within Open Life Science, which is a training and mentoring program to apply open science principle in all the steps of our work. Anne is also very bravely documenting her own understanding of the project because she has just recently started in the project so that we can lead our project to the third level of maturity, which you can learn more about in this issue. All these things that I'm talking about are documented within our community handbook, where you can learn and help us enhance all these processes. So put it in perspective, the Turing Way is a book. It's a community of collaboration. It's an open source project that uses open collaborative framework, and we are constantly building a culture of collaboration that supports all our contributors and maintainers. As acknowledged earlier, thanks goes to all our community members for being part of the project. We'd like to invite you to become the contributor in the Turing Way. You don't need to have coding experience to contribute. You just need an idea and willingness to learn. So if you're new to the community, you can join us. You can learn a new skill or share your own skill. You can collaborate with others and receive mentoring or mentor others. You can also represent the project. We will welcome all kinds of contribution. A quick shout out to an upcoming fireside chat on the topic, making virtual participation a global default. This is a public informal discussion that is taking place on 29 April. You can find all detail in this link, bit.ly/Turing Way. Another announcement for the Book Dash taking place from 16 to 20 May. It's a less intense version of book sprints. You can flexibly choose 2.5 hours each day of the week, and there will be accessibility and participation grant. It's also linked in this bit.ly/Turing Way. We also have further more opportunities for collaboration. Please learn about this. Contact me for any information that could be useful for you. And with that, I'd like to thank Christy Whitaker for starting this project, and happy to take any question offline.